Hey, Jennifer here. So this video, I'm going to go ahead and go through the orientation process. I just completed mine as of yesterday. It took around 6 hours, give or take. I started around 9 and submitted everything around 2:30. So I'm just going to do a run through in regards to everything you can expect in regards to the orientation with WGU. So it's official. Let's get started. Orientation is now complete. So I was able to go ahead and do my orientation yesterday. It opened up for me yesterday, so I just did it all within one day. Now, just a little heads up, it takes around between 6 to 8 hours to complete the full orientation. So I know it's a lot, and they break it down into different portions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a quick run through in regards to everything you can expect on the orientation, so that it kind of will be able to prepare you in regards to what's to come. So you have two portions in regards to the orientation. You have the first part, which is pretty much information about you. They ask you questions like, what are your study habits and things of that nature. So they ask you those type of questions. Everything is pretty much multiple choice. From there, they go through how much you know, how much you currently know, and how much they need to work with you. So they go over math. It was simple math, just adding, subtraction, multiplications. They threw in some fractions and I think a little bit of algebra, but no calculus or anything like that. So everything was multiple choice. So you have 4 options, and then the 5th option was, I need to know this. Like, there's something I don't know, so I don't know this, I need to learn it. That's what it was. So you can expect, definitely it was a couple of choices there when it comes down to the multiple choice, and a lot of questions in regards to the math too. After that, it went over grammar. So that part I wasn't expecting, but I guess if we're going to be doing a lot of writing and essays and things like that, they want to see exactly what your grammar is. So what they would do is they will have a paragraph, and they will have multiple choice. Everything was multiple choice, a bunch of sentences. Now, inside the sentences, there would be, let's say the comma would be inside the wrong place, so something was wrong with the grammar. So you would have to choose which one is the right one or which one is the wrong one. So I guess for them, again, that pretty much lets them know, do you need assistance with grammar? Do you need assistance with math? Another portion is called, it's pretty much comprehension. So they would go ahead and give you a big paragraph. It would be about 2 or 3 paragraphs long, talking about studying and things like that on the internet. So it would be about 2 or 3 paragraphs long. You would have to read everything thoroughly, and then when you're ready, you move on to the next portion. And then of course now they're going to ask you questions in regards to what you just read. So it's their way of trying to determine, are you able to read things and understand it? Can you really, comprehend things that you're reading? That's kind of like the point of that one is. So they had quite a few questions in regards to that. Now remember, this is all just the first portion. I didn't get down to the second portion yet. Another surprise was they would do a typing test. I guess, they don't, oh, by the way, everything you're submitting, all of the answers that you're submitting, you don't get a grade back immediately. I'm guessing all the information is going to go out to your advisor or your mentor rather, and then they're going to discuss it to you when you have your one-on-one with them later. But so we went ahead and did a typing test. So it's simple. I'm sure most of you have done that before. It will give you a paragraph, you type it, you can make corrections if you need to. If you made a typo or spelling errors, you could do that. But of course, if you did, that means that the longer, your timing will be. But otherwise, it's, I guess just trying to get a gist in regards to everything. So you submit all of that information. Now, once you do that, you have to move down to the second portion. This is more about learning WGU. I mean, it went over everything. It went over the student handbook. It went over how to find your assessments, how to submit an assessment. It went over how to navigate the whole system. It went over, it was so much. It went over technical requirements, which I've touched on in the past, But something that I didn't know, remember I mentioned I'm inside the business administration course. So I have to have Windows 10, but I cannot have Windows 10s. I didn't even know that. It was through the orientation. That's when I found that out. So I did go ahead and order a computer. It's coming on Monday. And I know it's going to come with Windows 10s. So I'm just going to make sure I upgrade it to Windows 10 Home, I believe the edition is, to make sure that everything is good when I take the actual exam, the proxy exam. So they also mention things like calculators. Apparently you can have a calculator while you're taking your exam. It just have to be not a particular one. There's just certain calculators that you cannot use. So I didn't know that. So I started, they give you a list. Very, very informative. They give you a list in regards to all of the calculators you can use and which ones you can't use. And that's how I realized Windows 10s is something that's not supported. So they went through all of that. They went over the webcams. They went over all of those details. Now, the next thing inside the orientation that you're going to do, they're going to show you how you get access to your Microsoft 365. So remember, now you're going to need that as well. So that's something, you don't skip that part. Don't skip it because you're going to need it. You can skip it if you already have Microsoft Office on your computer. I guess you can skip it, but I don't, and I'm going to need it later. I'm going to tell you why. Now, they go through the login and how to access your Microsoft 365. They also do the login information for the to download the app. WGU has a great app. I downloaded it, and you're able to view your courses online. Not just that, but open and study the information right through your phone. Sometime if you travel, you might be on a bus, you can just pull out your phone and just read instead of bringing like a bunch of papers with you. So it really is a great app. You should definitely download this WGU app. So they go through all that information. They navigate the app for you in regards to how to work it, and it's just a lot of information. I'm glad I took it and actually sat through the whole thing. Of course, you can skip around, but once you're done with each course in regards to the orientation portion, you do have to do a little knowledge check. So now that you do get a score on, it'll be short. It'll be like 2 or 3 questions just to make sure you're understanding the information as you're going through. So you get a knowledge check in between. So that part was actually great. Now, the reason I mentioned that you're going to need to download that Microsoft Office, which, well, for me, it came with, of course, everything. It came with Microsoft Office. I'm going to need Excel, PowerPoint. I think it came with other things. Those are the 3 things I'll focus on. So the reason you're going to need that is because at the end of the orientation, you have to do your first performance assessment. So the performance assessment you're going to do, they tell you, and I love this because it gives you an idea as to what you can expect. So it tells you exactly what to do. It was simple. It tells you to open up the study information. They're going to give you a table that's on Word. That's why if you don't have Word, you're going to need to download the version that they give you. And it just pretty much questions that they ask you, that you go ahead and fill in. This is your performance assessment at the end of the orientation. It's pretty simple. It just asks you questions like, if you're stuck on a math problem, for example, who do you reach out to? You kind of explain who would you reach out to and why. Or like what times would you reach out to your mentor, so you give an example as to that. It asks you things like, when you graduate, what would your future be? So you kind of write down what your future is. And also at the end, at the bottom, they also make you do kind of like a chart in regards to what your life is going to be like and when is the time for studying. So for me, I work 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. So I kind of block that out for work. And then the 3 days of off, I put that in for studying. And then the time in between is like for family and a little studying in between. So once you do all that, remember this is about 6 hours in at this point. So once you do all that, you go ahead and actually submit it. So this gives you a great idea in regards to what you can expect when it comes down to at least a performance assessment. And honestly, the objective assessments as well, because it was a lot of multiple choice you had to do. You did a performance acceptance. So not acceptance, performance assessment. So Once you go ahead and submit that, you can even look through the app. I love it. You can look through the app, and it will show you orientation, and it will show you that your document has been submitted. It also shows you that it's been evaluated, and then it shows you once it's complete and if you pass. Now, of course, since these are your words, chances are you're going to pass unless you just didn't put down the actual information. Maybe they're going to say, hey, maybe they're going to give it back to you. I don't know. But that gives you a great idea. So that was the entire orientation. It's definitely worth it. It gives you valuable information that you need in regards to setting yourself up for the course. So I say don't skip it. Some things, very few things I skip because it didn't really apply to me. So they'll tell you that also. But I say that's, don't just fly by it. Really sit through it because it gives you all the information that you need. It tells you in regards to app, how to set up and download the Microsoft Office. So it does all of that. But definitely leave a time space for it. But you can do it all within one day like I did, which took about 6 hours. I started from 9 and it ended around 2:30. But ultimately, as long as you complete the orientation and submit everything before you start on the 1st, then that's it. So you have time to complete it. Technically, 15 days? If they open it up on the 15th, then you have probably to the end of the month. So about a good 15 days you have to complete it, or you can do it all within one day. Doesn't matter. After you complete the orientation, it's going to tell you that you have to schedule an appointment with your mentor that you're going to be assigned. So I was assigned my mentor, and I went ahead and scheduled my appointment with him. I'm going to do it on my day off so that I have time. You have to take 30 minutes out of your day to speak to this person. They can set up with, I guess a study plan for you or something of that nature. And the courses, you're going to notice your courses will be opening up. You can't access it until the 1st, but you'll be able to see exactly what your courses will be. It even opens up through that app. It opens up all 7 terms. I mean, yeah, they stretch it out for like 7 terms. If you go strictly by the book there and not go any faster, you're going to be in there for 7 terms. So that's definitely not my plan. I'm talking about a year max, 2 terms max, and then that's it. I should be on out the door. But so yeah, that gives you all the information that you need. I'd say the orientation was actually great. It lets me realize what I might need to focus on, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and it gives me a great understanding in regards to how to submit an assessment. So it was actually great. I actually did enjoy it. Maybe that's why I focused on it and just knocked it out the whole 6 hours, because I actually did enjoy it, which is rare. I don't enjoy a lot of things. So definitely, when that time comes for you, don't skip it. Take your time, look through it. It's fun. It's videos. It's not a bunch of reading. It's really is a great interactive type of course that you're really going to need if you're going to go through and not stumble once it's time for you to start opening up and taking your courses. You want to know exactly how to get to this spot and that spot, and then how to take your exams, how to submit. So you want to know all those things. So it was definitely great. I'm excited. So again, next week, what today is? Today is Saturday. So next week, I'm going to do my one-on-one, and then the 1st is when I get started. So of course, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and do these updates as they come in. And, please hit the notification button. Don't forget to subscribe to get the future, process in regards to my whole journey about going back to school. And I'm not 20. Let me just say that. So, as usual, anything you need, please, we are always here. So if you want to reach out to me or contact me, leave a comment, anything like that, please feel free. I'm going to definitely contact you back. And if you have a journey as well that you're doing, let me know. We can definitely follow each other. I'll follow my journey, you follow mine. And we'll go ahead and accomplish all of our goals here together. So with that said, please do enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Stay masked up. Again, this is Jennifer all the time, which is me. And y'all have yourselves a wonderful day until the next video. Take care.